Hello, readers and listeners alike. I am Wandering Taff, and this is the Chronicle of Progress. Entry 6, A Glance at the Guilds, Part 2, The Blacksmiths, Locksmiths, Carpenters, and the Alchemists. Continuing from the last entry, this time I will be covering the 4 remaining guilds. Simply put, the guilds themselves are several organizations that use their organizing influence to alter the flow of goods and services in progress. I will cover the Blacksmith guilds first. It is run by a halfling named Titus Scallion and is the youngest guild in progress. As the city was late in its 3rd expansion wave, blacksmiths were in short supply, scattered inconveniently across the mains and standards, and heavily overworked due to the need for metal of all kinds. The Silver Steel Gnome clan of the Jewelers Guild and Progress's growing military, led by Sir Gallerand, put a massive strain on the stores of metal the individual blacksmiths had to work with, as well as creating a backlog of orders for the military. Seeing an opportunity, Titus gathered the craftsmen to address the issue. This resulted in the guild's immediate formation, but did not address the shortage concerns. Titus used his contacts in the neighboring cities, along with those provided by the other members of the newly forged guild, to connect directly with ore miners and various suppliers in the surrounding areas. The result was a massive success, and Titus was lauded as the individual responsible for outfitting the Progress military. Through this recognition, the guild has only grown, and outside the cities send their apprentices to train under the blooming guild and guild masters. The guild mark is a small symbol, but rather intricate, a spire rising in front of an angled hammer. Any smith in the guild is not required to add the mark, but will often incorporate its elements in their own marks. On the equipment for the military, however, the symbol is prominently displayed and slightly larger across all metalwork armor and weapons. The Alchemist Collective, run by Emil Netherwalk, resists actually creating an official guild for the alchemists operating in progress. But nevertheless, they may as well be one. Emil keeps a tight rein on the tabs and flow of their products through the use of the town watch and military organization. While this might sound extreme to someone outside of Progress, the Duke has signed off on this control mechanism for various reasons. Allow me to explain. Progress is a town of many ideas and types, and with a large number of people come a variety of cultures and personal preferences. Bluntly put, any form of drug, from relatively mundane tobacco and beer to the wild and various mind-altering substances, are available for purchase in the city. Emil, under the purview of the Duke, has essentially managed to control where these drugs are consumed, where and when they are sold, and how they are presented. The main goal of these enforcements, which Rabius has gone on record in stating, is to not let his city look like owlbear fodder, while allowing everyone to have their own personal freedoms. Emil also runs the Eagle's Reach Institute, a massive tower located several miles outside of the city limits, which houses those suffering from minor mental maladies all the way to derangement and psychosis. Using her alchemist skills and the fact that she is the de facto leader of the collective, the information she gathers from other alchemists help her achieve great advances in medicine and allows her to treat patients in the institute. A second alchemist of note would be Dr. Jarvius Havisham Worcestershire. While he is a jack of many trades and worthy of his own entry, he is one of the more affluent providers of designer drugs in the city, working with several establishments to develop and sell experiences tailored for establishments' particular clientele. Lastly, we come to the Carpenters and the Locksmiths. The Locksmiths Guild is run by Hannah Tessar, a half-elf with a striking blue eyes, and the Carpenters Guild is run by Jijim Erazi, an elven cleric. These two were citizens of Progress when the city experienced its second expansion, and likewise settled in the Mains, as many of the other guilds did. Hannah Tessar is a good woman, who, while she had a bit of a reputation of a thief while she was young, she now spends her incredible skill teaching others to work with, pick, and even build locks. Her guild services are highly sought after by the rich to build unpickable locks, and by the poorer citizens to help them get in their homes when they lose their keys or when their locks become jammed. Hannah uses her extensive connections and skills she developed as a child to help recovering thieves and bandits, giving them opportunities to integrate back into city life and to become upstanding citizens after committing to turn from a life of crime. She works in tandem with Jijim Erazi, the head of the Carpenters Guild. He is a devout holy man and hires many of the unskilled individuals that Hannah brings in and finds them work as woodworkers. Jijim views woodcrafting as a work of lifetimes, taking minutes to learn, but master craftsmen could study and practice woodworking their entire lives and not master all the facets of the skill. Jijim claims that wood is like a person's faith. It is made of layers and knots, and the texture and density is unpredictable until you observe the inner grain. But while wood can be cut and examined, a person can only live life or spend time in thoughtfulness to see what their layers are made of. Jijim is also quick to add that wood, like people, can be smoothed and textured and sculpted into works of art. All it takes is patience and care. When I approach these two with specific information I have been developing, they asked me to not share certain details about their businesses until a certain time. As developments progress and information becomes illuminated, I'll add details. But until then, you will all just have to wait to learn what I'm only just starting to uncover. As usual, at the bottom is an index linking you to my other entries that are mentioned in this particular one. If a topic piqued your interest, feel free to cross-reference the information for yourself. I don't monetize for these entries, but if I did, I would tell you. Before you cut a copper for me, send a silver to your favorite charity. If you're active in your church, tithe a bit more. Or if you're active in your community, spend a little bit more time volunteering. And lastly, I challenge us all to look the homeless in the eye when we pass by and not just walk by with our eyes straight ahead. We all have hearts and souls and minds and should be loved. If you enjoy what you hear, feel free to drop me a like. If you want to know more about Progress and its inhabitants, subscribe and you'll get weekly updates. Or, if you have a question, drop a line in the comments down below. How else will I know what I need to do to better my craft? Be waiting, for my next entry shall come soon. But until then, good evening.